And today on the program, Atiku Abubakar claims he stopped his former boss, former President Olusegun Obasanjo's dream of life presidency, and scores killed in police-Shiite clash in Kano State. And later on the program, Alliance for Democracy resolves crisis as Olushola Oke flags off campaign. I will be joined by Wahid Bakari, Majid Jamiu, and Boyega Akoshile. Journalist Angel starts now. Until yesterday, former President Olusegun Obasanjo had denied ever bidding for a third-term presidency. In his autobiography titled My Watch, he blamed the bid on some governors of the People's Democratic Party. In fact, he challenged his critics to provide evidence of his involvement. Today, the story has changed. After 9 years of silence, his former deputy, Atiku Abubakar, said President Olusegun Obasanjo did not only try to perpetrate himself in power for the third time, he intended to be there for life. Who should Nigerians believe? Gentlemen, welcome once again. Majid Jamiu, let me start with you. You can hear both sides of the story. So who should Nigerians believe, or who will you believe?
I won't believe any of them, but rather, I would rather say that 2019 is very close at hand, and Atiku is also playing his game. Of course, Obasanjo, anything that comes from Obasanjo, I will never believe. Rather, we've had instances of...
a former president?
Yeah, no, I mean, Obasanjo, I mean, I can't believe anything Obasanjo says.
Well.
Yes, that is a fact, and everybody knows that he was very much interested in the third-term agenda, but he come to deny it, that even it's some of the governors and legislators that were urging him to stay on, when it is written in black and white in the Constitution that you can only serve 2 terms. I mean, some of the National Assembly members then even came out to tell us that they got as much as 50 million naira for them to amend the Constitution. So we don't need an article to tell us that Obasanjo wanted to perpetrate himself in office.
For life now?
For life.
So the whole story that we were thinking just for the third time.
It is a fact. We don't need article to tell us. Fine is only laying credence. He's saying this so that Nigerians could think Atiku is a good man, because we are getting close to 2019 and a lot of intrigues have started playing out. Recall that just last week, I mean, when I saw that picture, I mean, I started thinking, and I'm not surprised. I mean, the picture of Atiku Abubakar, Aregbesola, and Ayo Fayose in Abuja, at the Abuja airport, it was not a coincidence. I mean, going forward, you will start seeing
a lot of...
Yeah, because if you read the full interview where Atiku said he was trying to be a good man now that he stopped, as if he was helping Nigeria to stop Obasanjo from perpetrating himself. He also said there that Nuhu Ribadu came to apologize to him, that he's not a corrupt, he was not indicted.
And Nuhu Ribadu has since replied also.
Nuhu Ribadu has replied. So, I mean, a lot of intrigues, because the build-up to 2019 is already on.
Okay.
We had a lot of revelations. People trying to look good.
Okay, for now. Wait, what do you think? Who should we believe? Obasanjo or his vice, or former vice?
I'm on the same page with Majid. You know, it's difficult to it's not difficult to know who is telling the truth and who is telling lies. You know, Obasanjo has consistently denied the fact that he was never interested in a third-term agenda, even though there are facts and figures to show that he did not only show interest, also bringing some money for those who will do his bidding.
Yes. Before
the thing fell apart. Like he said, all these things that we are seeing, they are part of the build-up to the 2019, whereby politicians, are trying to be good in the eyes of Nigeria,
to sound relevant,
trying to twist facts and figure. I don't think Obasanjo wanted to perpetrate himself as a life president. I don't want to believe that, but I don't have any doubt that he was actually interested in that third-term agenda, because those who are the forefront of the so-called third-term agenda, they came out later to say these are the things that we did. I remember that there was a time Professor Johnny Ghana who play a pivotal role in that third-term agenda, came out to say, no, we even advised him that, no, Nigerians won't take it. But he was helpless because he knew that that was the interest and that was the direction the former president was willing to go. So there is no point, convincing him not to do it.
And since you mentioned Jerry Gana, because in the extract I read today, he said Jerry Gana came with the Attorney General of the Federation then and brought a document, the document for constitution amendment thereabout. But they deliberately omitted some parts there, which he knew that at the end of the day, they must even insert the life presidency there. What do you think, Brigadier?
Okay, I think the question is whether, who to believe between Atiku Abubakar and Olusegun Obasanjo. At this point, on that one, I would believe Atiku Abubakar 150%.
Obasanjo?
Obasanjo, I know he was telling lies. He told lies then, and I know if he comes out tomorrow to say it will still be a lie. Because I was not a baby, I was head of politics at that time, and I know how many stories I wrote on life presidency bid of Olusegun Obasanjo back, at MBI then. So I was part of that story. Okay, now Obasanjo actually wanted to perpetuate himself. What do you need to perpetuate yourself? Why did you want to go for the third term in the first place? What were you looking for in third term that you couldn't achieve in 2 terms? And when you swore that you wanted to uphold the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, why would you brazenly want to upturn or overturn the same Constitution that you swore to protect? Okay, anybody who cheats once will cheat over and over again. Obasanjo had attempted to cheat, and I believe that if he had been given that third term, if he had scaled through that third term, he would cheat over and over and over again, just like Robert Mugabe. What does it take? Nigeria's sociological politics is very easy to study. Give money to make sure you impoverish the people.
Yes.
And when it's time for election, give them some money. They will still come out and support you.
And give them loaves of bread.
Give them loaves of bread, like Aketi is doing in Ondo State. APC, our governorship candidate, is giving people loaves of bread, and people will support him. It's just normal because there is poverty in the land. Not even now that there is recession.
Stomach infrastructure.
There's stomach infrastructure. Not even now that there's recession. Every kobo counts, for all the people. So Obasanjo wanted a third term and build up to life presidency. Atiku is right. Now, whether Atiku himself...
So it was just a build up. Initially, maybe it could have been the third time.
The third time,
and again,
then of course. So
try
whether
further.
Atiku himself is a good man, or because he said, I am not corrupt. Now, I keep asking...
And is it Arufai that came to say, okay, the ghost of corruption is even pursuing you, Mr. Man?
There is something within the political climb. Once you are tainted, it's usually very difficult to wash off. Atiku, there is no security or judicial agency that has said Atiku is corrupt. But in our mindset, we think Atiku is corrupt.
But
and we still believe
until proven guilty.
Exactly.
Really.
We still, so there is that. When Atiku says something, it's difficult for people to believe that he's not corrupt. So he has a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I know.
If he wants, just like Majid said, 2019 is the game plan. 2019 is the game plan. If he wants people to actually accept him or believe him, I think he has to do a lot of work.
Okay, we'll talk more about this permutation, this politicking that is happening. But let's talk about the fact that how can someone think after first, second, third time, and now life, is it life presidency, or how did they put it? You want to be there forever. And just try and Let's talk about Mugabe also. You put it together. Is it just an African mentality? And Mugabe has said it was. Even the queen is there forever also. So what is he remove the queen before you remove it? So is it an African mentality now? It's just general thing, really. People just want to die there.
There's a problem with us in Africa, sure, honestly. And when Trump emerged as the 45th president of U.S., and the people went back to history, and on the last count, Mugabe has spent 38 years. I mean, he has seen, he has worked with Trump will be the eighth president. And we are not talking of presidents, some of them spending actually 8 years, like Clinton, yes, like Bush, like Bush, Bush Senior, like Obama. I mean, 38 years, for goodness sake. I mean, it's not as if your country is so good that, unlike the king of Thailand that died, and people were crying. I mean, some people were actually crying. But if Mugabe dies today, for example, I doubt if people, the kind of cry people will cry.
It will be tears of joy.
Tears of joy or tears of agony.
But Ali Bongo was there also, Gabon. Is it? Yeah, Gabon.
That's why I said. But you see, Nigeria is such a. I mean, we look at the way we fought IBB.
Yes.
It would be difficult for Obasanjo, and it will be difficult for anybody to attempt to pull a veil over the eyes of Nigerians. You cannot outsmart us.
You cannot.
Sorry.
But before you come in, I have to say sorry also, because we need to go on a short break. Okay. I will come back. I will cut to you guys. Don't go anywhere, please. Welcome back. Okay, let me go to you now, Wahid. What do you think? Because last time I was asking Majid, why is it that one should have an idea at the back of his mind that, okay, I want to govern some people for forever?
You know, it's because of the fact that, you know, power has a way of intoxicating an average African leader. You hardly see such thing in other climes, apart from this continent of ours. You know, whereby somebody wants to be there for 20, 30 years, you know. There are so many cases like that. The Mugabe making reference to the queen shows how ridiculous he is. Everybody knows that.
But he has a point.
He has no point. But everybody knows that. That one is a monarchy. She's a monarchy. So it's a monarchical system of government. You can't remove the queen or the king, as the case may be. Exactly. You know, except maybe
constitutional infraction. If Mugabe dies now, the wife might be the president.
It's not. Well, I wouldn't know, because maybe their system will allow that. But like Mojid also said, you know, Nigeria is an heterogeneous society. You know, the fact that we are so complex in nature will make it difficult for anybody to think that he can, you know, perpetuate himself in power for as long as he wants. You know, IBB tried this. You know, he pushed us here and there. At the end of the day, the system, you know, remove him. The same thing with Abacha. Yeah. Abacha did all he could. He did to the extent that the 5 political parties that we had at that time, you know, they adopted him as the sole candidate. So it was almost a done deal for him. But when the time comes, you know, the system still took care of him.
I think it was nature.
Nature took care of him on behalf of the system.
You know, Nigeria is so complicated. There are certain things you can't try in Nigeria. Maybe in Zimbabwe, for instance, maybe if the man dies, maybe the wife or the son, you know, can
I think the wife is the Minister of Education now.
Maybe the wife of the son can take over, like we saw in the case of this man you mentioned now. It has happened in Togo. It has happened here, but I don't foresee that situation in Nigeria. You know, Nigeria is too wise to allow anybody to do that kind of thing. Obasanjo was really interested in that thing. And I don't want us to forget what Kolade told us on this program. You know, I never knew of that until when he mentioned it, that the credit, you know, should go to the Nigerian media. Because when the media were invited, the editors were invited somewhere in Abuja, you know, and they were asked to support it. And I don't know, I mentioned one of the editors who stood up and said, no, before we can support it, you go on a live on a live television program, so that let the people you are representing see those who are in support of this other agenda. I think that was what stopped the lawmakers from going ahead, because they, you know, the first day they did it, if you remember, the next day there was riot. There was riot, and they were receiving text messages. So they had to back out. So that shows you that, you know, Nigerians can take out that situation when the time comes.
Okay, Boyega,
yes,
well, what do you think? Because you've said already that Nigerians might fall for that trap, and they've said it cannot happen. In Nigeria, it might happen in Zimbabwe and continue to happen. But in Nigeria, that will never happen. What do you think?
Well, I didn't say Nigerians might fall for it, but if care is not, you know, taken, well, I want to, you know, support what Wahid said about the Nigerian media. Nigerian media are very, 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 very strong. I don't know whether we still have that today. Although citizen journalism has taken over and is, you know, gradually pushing the Nigerian, you know, traditional media to the back of the house. Now, the people, I would say, will not allow that kind of thing to happen in the country. Now, I also feel that when we're fighting, there must be some people who are like power blocks, who are interested for or against certain cause that we're fighting. I'll tell you for free that he may not be a good person, but I try as much as possible to be as fair as I can be, possibly. Atiku Abubakar did a lot in truncating Obasanjo's third-term agenda. I don't know whether we're forgetting.
Because Atiku had his own agenda.
No. I'm trying to separate issues. Your own agenda, my own agenda. Now, let's put Atiku's agenda. Atiku's main agenda since 1993 had been to become the president of Nigeria.
Yeah.
Since 1993.
So maybe that's the agenda he had.
Okay. Now, he had the opportunity in 2003.
Yeah.
He had the opportunity in 2003 when he had absolute, and I mean absolute, control. Absolute control
of the structure
right inside his pocket. He was the one in charge of anything called the People's Democratic Party at the time. All the ministers, everybody wasn't going to Obasanjo. They were all going to Atiku Abubakar. It was a major power block in Nigeria. Now, reports said, whether from grapevine, it was deniable, that Obasanjo had to prostrate to Atiku Abubakar to allow him run for the second term. So for you to know how powerful Atiku was at the time. And some people said they told Atiku, this happened when he...
No, that's what they said, really.
Yeah. No. In his house...
If you read the full interview...
Now, in his house,
Atiku said nothing like that.
In his house, Atiku, he said to a few of us, a few journalists there, that I was warned more than 3 times not to allow Obasanjo run in 2003. I was part of the media briefing that I was warned not to allow him run. He said, guys, can you see what he's doing to me now? Can you people see what he's doing to me now?
I was at that media briefing as well.
So that's to tell you the kind of fight between them.
Yeah.
So when Obasanjo wanted to now go for the third-term bid, Atiku, with all the resources, with all the connection, he spent a lot to make sure he blocked it.
Let me come back to you, but let Moji take it from where you stopped.
Yeah.
Wait, because it seems it's a personal thing. Is Atiku fighting for the people of Nigeria? Because now, after 9 years, Atiku is coming forth now to say, Baba wanted to go for life. Why are you waiting till now? Is it because election is around the corner? Is Atiku fighting for us or fighting for his own interests?
I said it when we started this program, and I will not deviate from that. I don't know where guys getting his own. Atiku's interest is personal, not the interest of Nigeria.
Of Nigeria.
Yes. You see,
I don't want to go into his personal interest.
But
At least not just
but you are going to one interest.
He has not told us whether he's running or
Atiku
not.
knows that if he had allowed,
Isn't it obvious?
We will dissect him when he wants to run.
we are going. We need to put the facts on the table. Some of us can what they think they are seeing standing up. Some of us can see it sitting down. Because we know a bit
You
of
remember again, all of a sudden, Atiku came up with restructuring.
I was
You said he had all the powers then. So why didn't he restructure?
Yeah, sorry. If Obasanjo had preparated himself, even with third term or even lifetime, it would have stopped or truncated Atiku's ambition of becoming president. So that's why he's fighting for his personal interest. 2019 is very close. He needs to tell us something sweet to the air.
So what brought about
Okay, I would answer
what
this. Sorry,
brought about
Wahid.
this thing he said?
Yeah, but I must ask very quickly. Why can't I fight for my personal interest?
To the detriment of
No. You can't use the word that would be too judgmental. You can't use
too detrimental.
Why now? Why is he telling us this now? Did it happen yesterday?
But I don't know why he's saying it. He will be the only one that will tell us that. I think we should ask Atiku Abubakar, why are you telling us this now? But I also know that there's nothing wrong in him saying that Obasanjo wanted a third term, which you and I know that the man, wanted. Why are you now saying it
9 years after?
9 years after. So maybe you would have to call a press conference or issue a press statement in that regard. But whether he's fighting for the people
or not,
or his personal interest, is what I cannot categorically say.
What do you think? I don't understand. What do you think?
It's like he has studied the situation. He has studied the body language of Nigerians. And based on that's why he's releasing all those information, behaving like a typical Nigerian politician.
Yes, exactly.
The last time it was about restructuring. But the question is, he was there for 8 years. What was his position on the need to restructure Nigeria? And if you recall very well, discovered that he was able to achieve his aim without the structuring drama of a team, because it became the major headline of some newspaper that day, which was what he wanted to achieve.
And it's becoming a major headline now.
And today again, the issue of Obasanjo wanting to be life president was also on the cover of almost all the newspapers. He knew what he wanted, and it's like he knows how to get it. Tomorrow, don't be surprised if the issue of this they want to increase pump price of fuel. I won't be surprised if tomorrow Atiku bring out another statement, because you know that will also give him the opportunity of being on the cover of most newspaper, and it will be in the news, both electronic and what have you.
But let's give it to him. He knows how to throw the cards.
Of course, there's nothing wrong with what he's doing, but I think it is more about him, not about us.
Okay. No, I think it would be very unfair for us to say it's not about him. I'm not speaking for him. Okay. I think we should set the agenda. What we should do is, why is Mr. Atiku Abubakar saying all of these things now? When you were there, you had all the opportunities to effect restructuring and the
maybe
rest.
when he calls that press conference.
No, he can call us on Journalist Hangout to ask us. Mr. Ibe is his media person. Yeah. I'm sure you're watching us. Nigerians want to know why Atiku Abubakar is saying all of these things now.
So you can
tell Nigerians.
There's still time. We've got like 30 minutes, Mr. Ibe. So you tell Atiku Abubakar so we can talk. Our Journalist Hangout.
After all, Babangida called us here.
Yes, was. How many killed in police shite clash?
Please stay tuned.
Welcome back. A few days to Christmas last year, Shiite members clashed with the Nigerian army in Kaduna State, and hundreds of people were killed. Almost a year after the blood clash, the Muslim group has clashed with the police again in Kano State. Reports say at least 9 persons, including a police officer, were killed in that clash. What is happening up now? That's a big question. What do you think, Majid? Because this is like a monster brewing again, or what do you think?
You see, I'm a Muslim, and you see, a group of people can't just sit down and take laws onto themselves. Honestly, there's this thing they call the Albin trek that they do every year, and people would trek from Kano to Zaria. I mean, but while doing that, if you do it peacefully, there's no problem. But on your trail, you stop cars, extort money from them, rape women, do a lot of funny things, harass people. And to the extent that last year what they did was to stop the convoy of the Chief of Army Staff. And you can't do that. And what was the excuse? They said, well, even the governor of the state, if anytime he sees them in that trekking like that, he will turn back and take an alternative route. I mean, it cannot happen. This is we operate what we call law and order. There must be respect for constituted authority. Even in the Quran, it is there. You must have respect for constituted authority. You can't have a law within a law. You can't have a law within a system. So now, how the police or the security agencies tackle it is another thing. They should use minimal force to ensure that there is no loss of lives.
But I heard the AK-47 of one of the policemen was snatched.
Yeah, they actually,
process,
of course,
yes.
they became so unruly.
Yes.
And if you go to the extent of snatching the AK-47 of a policeman, of course, they will use fire.
Killing a policeman.
Yeah, they killed a policeman. And you see, a policeman or even a security agent, the moment you kill one of them, I mean, you have it's an open confrontation. It's a voluntary assumption of risk. And you have yourself to blame. And when the story will be told, on the last count, very unfortunate, 348 people died last year, December, when that happened. But thank God, I mean, they didn't allow it to escalate to that extent. Yes, but I think somebody should tell these characters that even if you are calling for the freedom of your sect leader, I think you should do it with some decorum. And that's what we talk about indoctrination. You see some of them, as shown on television, they are so dogmatic. They don't think of anything. I wonder, in 2016, when you are not on a jihad, you are not on a pilgrimage, you'll be trekking from Kano to Zaria. I mean, and you do that issue every year. I don't know what they are trying to achieve.
But somebody said, but a man has trekked from Lagos to. Where did he trek to the other?
No, from Maiduguri. Is it from Lagos to Abuja for Buhari?
Yeah, for Buhari.
Yes, that one is a solo effort, and people were even clapping for him on the road. But not this one that, I mean, they will be destroying property, attacking innocent Nigerians. I mean, I don't think that is right.
What do you think? Because this might get out of hand.
I have a very short video clip, of the activities of the Shia. It was my first time I was doing that. I still have it in one of my phones. And if you watch it, the impression you have is that this is a separate government. They have their own paramilitary.
Yes, the flags.
They have
everything.
so many things. To the extent that the man, their leader, you will see him inspecting guard of honor like they do for head of state and presidents. And in the video clips, I hear when he was saying he was speaking in Hausa, but it was being translated, saying that how can you say you want to attack a man that has this large number of followers? There is this saying that there's always a first time. They have been doing this thing for so long, and nobody deemed it fit, to checkmate them. We have had cases whereby they said, anytime their festival is approaching, all the schools in the neighborhood, they take over the schools, because that's where they will lodge their members, So for that period, school children in that area, they won't have access to their school, The issue of trekking, well, they can trek from here to London if they so wish, but a situation whereby anytime they have that trek, they said the whole state will be shut down. You can imagine the number of people that will trek. Yes. So if you have anything to do on that day, you can't do it.
That's like another government.
You can't do it. But despite that, I still want to. I don't want to believe the police version of the story that they snatch a rifle. I'm not saying they can't do it. Yes. They can do it. But I don't want to.
They confronted the military.
I don't want to. The reason why I don't want to. The reason why I don't want to believe was that if you look at the video of the military, their clash with the military, it was stated that they were they were harmed. I've watched the video over and over again. They weren't harmed.
Okay, our correspondent in Kano State is online. Ibrahim Isa. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you? So can you tell us what's the latest? What's happening over there? Is that peace has returned?
Yes, currently we are at the Kano State Police Command headquarters. We just came back from the hospitals where some of the policemen, talking about the Kano State Police men that were affected, that were injured as a result of the clash between them and the Shiites yesterday morning. We met 5 of the mobile police officers that were injured. Earlier, we were asked to go to the hospital to see those injured policemen because of the allegations of the Shiites that they are not carrying any of the weapons that the police say they are with. And earlier on, we were shown some of the weapons that the Shiites had been alleged to have been used to injure most of the policemen during the clash that occurred yesterday.
So what do you think is going to happen later on? Is there going to be a retaliation, or peace has returned fully?
Yeah, since yesterday, normalcy has been restored in the affected town of Tamburawa, which is at the outskirts of Kano. Immediately after the clash, the Shiite members were dispersed and they returned home. Some of them that were injured were taken to the hospitals, and the corpses of those that were dead were also evacuated. And normalcy was restored since yesterday. And Kano is peaceful as I speak to you. And earlier on, we spoke with the leader of the Shiites. He doesn't seem to have made any harsh response with regards to the clash. But what the Shiites in Kano are saying is that they would demand for justice in the court of law.
Okay.
In earnest.
Okay. Do you have an idea of how many people lost their lives in that confrontation?
Yes, according to the police, 8 people were dead as a result. Okay. One of them, 9. 8 among them is the Shiite members, and one is the police officer whose AK-47 rifle was seized from him by the Shiite members, according to the police.
Okay, so on the part of the Shiites, how many people did they say? How many lives were lost?
Yes, the Shiites say it is actually difficult to ascertain the number of people that had died, but I've accepted the figures been given by the police, since it is difficult for them to get the real figures of those that have lost their lives. But they confirmed to us that 30 of their people sustained various degrees of injuries during the clash. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Ibrahim Isa, our correspondent in Kano State. Wega, this is terrible.
Well, it's an unfortunate incident, and I want to take a little departure from Majid's contribution here. First and foremost, I want us to look at it from 2 angles. Number one, I have a right. You have a right. We all own Nigeria. However, your right stops where mine begins, or my right stops where your right begins. In other words, what I mean is I cannot use my rights to inflict on your right. Neither can you. So I would agree with him on that. Second, you can't have a government within a government. Whereas you have a Muslim sect, a group, whose allegiance is to not Nigeria, to Iran. Their allegiance is not to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and they are carrying Nigerian passports. Unfortunately, the people that follow all these leaders do not know what they are up to. Okay? Most of the time, these leaders indoctrinate, and of course, some of the offspring, some of the children that are born into Shia do not really know the roots, the genealogy of all these movements. However, we are all Nigerians. the approach of our security people, I saw the video of the one that happened last year.
Okay, since you mentioned it, let's do a review of what happened last year, really.
Yeah, the one that happened last year. These guys, like Wahid said, did not have any, they were not armed. Like the police said today.
Like 100 were killed last year.
Last year.
Yes.
Now, I detest the fact
official
that
statement,
I detest the fact that these people will accost other neighbors or other people, including police or soldiers. Why would you do that? You are holding your procession. He said, if you like, trek from here to London. London is very close. If they like, let them trek from here to Japan.
But don't disturb anybody.
Don't disturb anybody with your procession.
1,000.
Don't disturb anybody with your procession. You can hold your procession. They hold it everywhere they are. In Iran, everywhere we have a preponderance of shared groups. They hold their processions everywhere. But please you don't hold religious treks and be killing people. But these guys will come out to say, no, we were not armed. We were not out to kill anybody. We just heard your correspondent say that they interviewed them and they said there was nobody that carried any dangerous weapon. They were holding their placards. Their placards and all that.
They said they had catapults and everything.
Yeah, and all that. So my major issue, before we move on, my major issue is after all the back and forth, I woke up to the news of Inspector General of Police justifying the killing. And that to me is very dangerous. You can't justify killing.
I know they report because the slides.
No. He said it.
Now
the guy said it. Ibrahim, the Inspector General of Police, yes. I'm sure they're watching, said it today in Abuja at the presidential villa after the decoration in Aso Villa. He justified killing. How can you justify killing of a human being? These people are Nigerians. You don't kill people. You don't kill. However, we just said...
Can I quickly ask a question? What about a policeman that has his rifle taken away from him?
Look, it is your worst... It is their word. I don't trust the police.
But a policeman was killed. So did he end up killing himself?
No,
I'm not supporting the police here now.
Yeah, I'm not supporting also.
Neither am I supporting.
You said something.
That's what I'm saying.
They have to defend themselves.
They hold their allegiance. They hold their allegiance to the government of Iran. Yes. They are living in Nigeria. They say they only respect. I mean, it can't work. So, excuse me. Last year, what started this thing last year? The convoy of the chief of the number one
assassination
chief.
Attempt,
I mean, they wanted to kill. They told him he should turn back. The chief of army staff. No, it can't happen.
Okay, but people are calling for the release of El Zakzaki. Do you think he should be released soon?
Well, these are security issues. There are security issues involved. The atmosphere there is charged until they are probably able to prove that. I mean, peace will be. There will be calm. There will be no reprisal attacks. I think the security guys know what they are doing. I can't speak on their behalf. Okay. I won't say. I mean, they know why they are holding him. Yes. So, but probably they want him to.
So we should just leave it to them.
Probably they want him to owe allegiance to the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If he's not willing to do that, yes.
No, I don't think they should continue to hold the man.
Okay.
Look, we are not living in a banana republic. This is a constitutional democracy.
If you have any cause,
take him to court. And that's my stand.
All right, we need to go on a short break. And when we come back, we'll move to other discussions. Stay with us, please. I'm moving on as we inch closer to November the 26th, a governorship election on those states. The Alliance for Democracy seems to be ready for the process. On Monday, the party flagged off its campaign and as it presented its candidate, Olushola Oke, to the electorate. Today, report says top politicians in Ondo State are already dumping their parties for the Alliance for Democracy. How will all this play out? The man from yeah, you tell us. I think there's a Trump, a Trump election coming up.
A Trump factor.
A Trump factor coming up. What's going on?
Well, I'm from Ekiti State, but then we used to share the same umbilical cord You should, if you are not on the other side of the divide, probably you should be able to tell us more. You are from Ondo, but then, be that as it may, Olushola Oke is a strong force to contend with in the election, but same with Akeredolu. Even Jimoh Ibrahim that had his first rally yesterday, I watched it on television.
First official rally.
First official rally. It was a massive crowd in Ore, while that of Oke was going on at the Democracy Park in Akure. Jimoh had Sheriff. And I saw some banners. They said he's the authentic PDP chairman, Sheriff. Where we call him, as a journalist, I would say, is a factional. PDP chairman. And the Sherubawon and the Omo Ilu of PDP politics, Senator Buruji Kashamu was live there. But then, if you look at the Oke rally in Akure, you know, AD is, you know, Olushola Oke left APC for AD, so
left PDP for APC.
No, from PDP in the space of 1 year. He's been able to transform from PDP to APC to AD. And
that's a transformation.
Yes. And yesterday at the rally, I was expecting to see anything to connect him with some strong figures in APC or PDP where he left, but I couldn't see that on the stage. Principally, the rejuvenated members of the AD.
Secretary to the government of the Federation. I think it was there.
At the AD rally?
No, okay, I thought you were talking
about I was talking of
okay.
No, of course, the Aketi rally had ministers and some governors, although they said the president was not there, but then the vice president was not acting. The president's lunch will be at the final rally, which is holding on Thursday. But I think we are discussing okay. And he has a good chance, but then the three major contenders, the vote could swing between AD, APC, or
and
PDP.
And why? Because I was curious. Why did you call? You said Buruji Kashamu is the Sherubawon.
Yeah, if Buruji Kashamu, with all the baggage he carries, if he could win an election, if he could win an election in Ogun State, Ogun East, Ogun Water side,
so you can help.
This man was held captive for 3 days until he was able to get an injunction to drive the EFCC and the DSS away. So you call that that is actually Sherubawon, quote and unquote.
Will okay be the spoiler for these two main political parties, because apparently it used to be the PDP and the APC. Though the APGA guy said the gimmick, the style that they used to win, what's it called, Anambra, that they will bring it to that it will win also. So okay,
initially some of the party leaders were trying to be stumbling block to Oke's candidature. But the same set of people have now come together to say no. All those things we have put them aside. Let him be our candidate. That shows that they have close rank, and it will make that election to be very, very interesting. My only fear is that they should just allow the will of the people to prevail, because we should not forget the fact that Ondo State has history of electoral violence, and if care is not taking, it may go that way, because the contenders they are so desperate, and they all have equal chances. They all have equal chances. So it can go either way. It's going to be an interesting
Let me take
election.
Okoro from Abuja. Good evening, Okoro. Hello, Okoro, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
We're waiting for you. Good evening. Your conclusion, your submission or contribution.
You say?
Your contribution, Okoro, we're waiting for you.
Okay. Good evening, my brothers.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. You see, I saw one of the report that you're saying with them, saying how free people can be in practicing their religion. It is wonderful.
What's wonderful, Okoro?
But
you need to be more audible, please. You can barely hear what you're saying.
Hello?
Yes. Can you repeat yourself all over again?
You know what?
We need to. You need
Raise
to be
your
audible.
voice a bit.
Raise your voice or project.
Okay. In this same country where Boko Haram was incubated, when people talk about them, they say no, 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 no. Until by the end of the day, Nigeria nearly was consumed. It's when everybody now stood up. The Lieutenant Colonel was killed last week. From what I'm seeing in your page now, another Lieutenant Colonel has been killed. Religion should be something that is sacred. Thank God that my brother with glasses was telling us how sacred life is. A situation where people are killed and we keep on saying only 7, only 8, whom the life of human beings. We have people who slaughter human beings like goats and the cow. We all have to be very, very careful. We have to be very, very careful.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we see a spade, let us call it a spade.
Okay. Thank you, Okoro. With that advice of yours, we have to be very careful. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And let me come to you because, okay, we're talking okay now. And some are saying that since you have, what's it called again, the man from Oshun? No, the man with the
Bola
Ilori.
DG campaign.
Since you have Bola Ilori, someone like Bola Ilori that was a strong APC supporter then at the back of okay. That means you can see the hands of Esau, if you get what I mean, somewhere in the life of OK.
Well, I don't know whether there is any hand of Esau there, because I spoke with one senator from that axis, and what he said to me is Bola is acting on his own.
Okay.
That Bola, that nobody is sending him any message.
Okay.
However, anything is right in politics. Nothing is wrong in politics, and that's the mistake a lot of Nigerians do. These politicians know this, that just about anything is right. You see them today, Atiku Abubakar is coming back, this one, everything is right as long as you get that power. Now, once you've gotten the power, you can then begin to say, guys, don't worry, let's work together. E.g., Donald Trump divided America so thoroughly, and now he's saying, guys, don't worry, it's time for us to bond. Let me to bind the wound. That's the word to use. Guys, don't worry, it's not time for us to bind the wounds. Okay, everything is right in politics. Now, Olushola, okay, I spoke with a correspondent of ours, a correspondent friend who has been in Ondo monitoring the election. I spoke with him yesterday morning that please give me your unbiased assessment of what is going on. And I remember that was what we discussed when MJ and I saw earlier, before we started the show.
Yeah.
He told me that, Brega, it is a balanced, a show of force. That you can't tell who will win this election. I said, are you sure? He said, yeah. He's been on ground. He's been covering that you can't it's difficult for, of course, as reporters, we can almost tell where an election result will swing.
Right.
But in this Ondo, that you can't tell. However, for me, I know who will win the election.
Who?
Aso Rock will win the election.
Oh, God will win.
I'm telling you, presidency will win the election for whoever.
And presidency.
But is presidency coming to vote?
What do you think the hand of Esau?
Yeah,
that's the hand I see.
Yeah, the hand of Esau is showing in both AD, APC, and PDP. But on election day, I think Aketi might just have an edge.
Okay, on election day.
Aketi?
Yeah, going with what he's saying.
Presidency, are you saying presidency?
That's the presidency.
So presidency will win the election at the end of the day.
It's likely that we will win the elections because of the fact that, if you have the backing of the presidency, you are likely to win. And don't forget the fact that the president belongs to the same party.
But will the presidency vote, really?
The president will not vote.
Have you ever seen the president go to vote?
I know they don't like people imposing people on them.
Major minus for case the fact that he has jumped three parties.
The
within
reason
a year.
why the presidency will win this election is very simple, sir. Sorry. So that we are running out of time. Let's, spell it.
But presidency did not support Fayose, he won.
No. The reason the presidency will win in this one is that Jegede has been cleverly gotten, out of this.
So you
race.
think Jim
But
O'Brien
by God's
is
grace,
not a threat, right?
if the judiciary could stand up and restore that
Jegede. Okay.
let presidency come.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you
Jegede
so
will
much.
win that election.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for hanging out with me. That's for those that have called. Thank you so much. And that's all on Journalist Hangout. Join us tomorrow for another interesting episode of the program. Or watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11. And you can also watch Journalist Hangout on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I am Dapo Aruwajoye. Bye for now. God bless Nigeria.